want to level up your climbing as quickly as possible, but you're looking for bouldering workouts that are geared to people who are between a V0 and V3 climbing skill, well, you are in the right place. In this video, we're going to go through what you should be doing every week to level up your climbing skill as quickly as possible, including the workouts and things that you need to be focusing on in these beginning stages of your climbing experience. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Sarah from SendEdition.com. If you're climbing between a V0 and V5, click subscribe right now. I'm making videos just for you. In this video, we are going to be going through a 7-day regimen, a week's worth of exercises that you should be doing. And please note that as a beginning climber, the best thing you can do is climb. So if you aren't up for a bouldering workout or something like that, at least get on the rock for a little bit of climbing if you can, at least 4 out of 7 days a week. Now, I'm not a genius, I'm not a professional, so I actually get a lot of my inspiration and today's video's recommendations from this amazing book by, I forgot his name, by Eric Horst. This amazing book called Training for Climbing by Eric Horst. And in this, he actually goes through different workouts that you should be doing, as well as a recommended workout routine for 7 days as a beginning climber from a V0 to V3 experienced climber. So let's get into his recommendations and what I've noticed as I've gone through these workouts as well. There are specific activities that you can do to help your bouldering right now. The number one thing is climbing, so you'll notice as we get into this video that a lot of the days of the week are oriented or include some sort of climbing session. Climbing sessions doesn't mean you're working on a specific grade or you're working on drills. It is just getting your hands on the rock so you get experience with different climbing holds, different wall angles, so that you can level up your climbing as quickly as possible. And be sure that you do some warm-ups as needed so that you're not hopping on climbs that are going to hurt your hands or hurt your tendons or anything like that. Now, you can do any level of climbing that you want. If you're climbing at a V2, try and do a few V2s. If it takes a couple of tries, that's fine, but also do some V1s and V0s so that you can at least have the accomplishment of a few climbs during this part of the session. Then the next thing after that are climbing exercises, which would include drills. One exercise that I've been really enjoying lately, which I actually use commonly as a warm-up, is called a 4x4. And what a 4x4 is you take a climb that's 2 or 3 levels lower than what you're currently climbing. So if you're climbing a V3s, then you'll be climbing V1s and V0s. And what you're going to do is you're going to identify 4 climbs right next to each other, and then you're just going to do all 4 of those. Then you're going to take a 5-minute rest, and then you're going to do all 4 of those. And the only rest between each of the routes is you chalking up. This is surprisingly exhausting, and for this video, I didn't have a camera person with me, so I had to stick with what was just in frame, which were these 3 climbs. One is a V1 and 2 is a V2s, just so you can get an idea of what that looks like. And I did all 3 of these, took a 5-minute break, and I repeated that process 3 times. So instead of a 4x4, I did a 3x3. But let me tell you, I was exhausted afterwards. So as long as you're doing climbs that aren't too easy, but they're getting your heart racing, they're getting you into the motion, this will help you with your climbing endurance. It will help you with your stamina, which is so important, especially as a beginner climber. I still at this point get to those climbs where I could complete them if I could just hold on a little bit longer. Now, if you're looking for some other drills, I actually made an entire video on drills that you can do all by yourself. You don't need a coach or anyone there to help you with it. Check out that video. It's loaded with drills that are going to help you. The next one is highly missed for beginner climbers, which is why I'm going to put extra emphasis on it in this video. It's stabilizer and antagonist training. And this is one of the things that's going to help with your grip strength as well as prevent those tendon injuries that often hurt climbers as they're leveling up. It makes it so that they aren't able to climb for a period of time while they're recovering. And these training exercises will help prevent that, which is going to be key for your leveling up. As a beginner, you may have noticed people on a hangboard or the campus board and maybe thinking that you need to do that to level up your climbing. But as a beginner between V0 and V3, don't even think about it. It is more likely to cause you injuries than it is to give you the performance boost that you're looking for. You may have seen a lot of people with those rubber bands, and though those are great for a warm-up, that's really where those bands end up. They should not be a core part of your workout session. I actually have just been testing using them while I'm on my way to the climbing gym to get that warm up, and actually I do notice that my hands are much more warmed up after using them. But again, this should not be a specific workout that you spend 10 minutes on. This should really just be a warm up. After that, you can be working on things like wrist raises, or if you're looking for something a little bit more technical, a lot of climbing gyms have these blocks that you can attach weights to, so you can have wide grip block training. And then also there's a more narrow where you grab a plate and you can use the plates for keeping your strength up that way. If the plate is a little too light, instead of doing a heavier plate, you can actually just combine two plates together, so that pinching motion will be even more difficult for you to hold, and it will actually be more beneficial than, say, you put two 10 weight pounds together, will be more beneficial than one 20 pound, because you actually have to push the plates together, making it more difficult. The next is total core and leg exercises, and this is going to be really evident as you get more into climbing. The more core strength you have, the more strength you have on staying on the wall. You'll be able to make body movements that you really need to as you're getting into harder and harder climbs. And then you'll be surprised, the more you get into climbing and the technique side of climbing, how much your leg strength goes into hands. For me, I've done a couple of workouts that are specific for my higher abs, as I've been noticing that I've been kind of letting my lower body disconnect from my upper body a little bit. And so here are a couple of exercises that I did, and you can pick and choose whatever core workout you want to do. Almost any kind of core exercise is going to be helpful for a climber, as your core is a huge part of climbing. As for leg exercises, do as you wish. I saw a couple of people in jeans today doing squats. I like doing lunges. Squats are also good. Non-weighted or weighted, it depends on if you have the experience with weighted, then okay, do that. If you don't have experience with weighted squats or lunges, then consider having a coach walk you through it, or a spotter that can help you. The last thing is a non-specific aerobic or anaerobic? Aerobic is a non-specific aerobic exercise, such as running or speed walking is what I like to do with my dog. And this will help you with decreasing your body mass so that your body mass to muscle mass is at a better ratio for climbing.
Low squat, I'm going as low as I can. Chest is high. We're gonna take small steps so we're not bouncing.
I actually recently learned that some climbers have access to speed climbing, and that's what they do for their aerobic exercises. That sounds like that would be really fun for me, because I would still be climbing, but getting that aerobic exercise that you need. Unfortunately, I don't have access to a speed wall, so I've got biking, running, walking, that kind of thing, and my favorite is to speed walk with my dog. So 7 days a week, let's break this down Monday through Sunday right here. Before we continue though, let me invite you to subscribe to my channel. I'm making videos that will help you improve your climbing faster, so you don't have to do all the stumbling that I did. So first day is Monday, and this can either be a rest day for most people, or it's also optional to do that non-specific aerobic exercise, whatever you like to do to get your body pumping. Tuesday is when things start getting really fun, and the first thing you're going to be focusing on Tuesday is just climbing. So climb around as much as you can. Be sure that you do some warm-ups as needed. The next part of your climbing session should be climbing related exercises. The next part of Tuesday is going to be your core and leg workout. Now there's a ton of core workouts that you can do. If you struggle with things that require a lot of back work, then make sure that your core exercises are more oriented towards that back exercises. Now starting on Wednesday, we're going to be diving into stabilizing and those stabilizers and antagonist training that I mentioned earlier. Thursday is another climbing day, woohoo! Climbing again, and then climbing exercises, and then core exercises. Like I mentioned before, your core is key to the strength that you need for climbing. So if you get on that now, you're going to level up so much faster than any other beginner that you see in the climbing gym. Friday is a rest day, and it is important to have rest days in there because your body needs time to recover, especially your hands. A lot of times people don't consider their skin when they're considering rest days, they just consider their muscles. But as a beginner, your hands are not used to the rigor of climbing, especially if you're at a climbing gym. So be sure that you take the rest day as needed. Saturday is another climbing day, and if you're up for it, do some aerobic exercises afterwards. Sometimes climbers will pair this as in they'll like run to the climbing gym, climb, and then run home. That is fantastic if you can do that. I have to take the freeway to get to my climbing gym, so that's not an option for me. But if you can do some aerobic exercises, do so on Saturday. Sunday is a climbing day again, followed by some climbing exercises like those drills I mentioned, and then an optional core workout. This week-long routine should be repeated for 3 weeks, and then you should take a rest week on week 4. Then starting on week 5, you should reevaluate your climbing. At this point, you should have leveled up all the way to the V3 and start working on your V4s, at which point there are different workouts and exercises that you should be doing. I'm making a video on that soon. If this video is helpful for you, please like it and share it with your friends who are also beginner climbers. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy climbing out there.